It's the question that haunts survivors long after the narcissist is gone. Did they actually ever love me? It doesn't sound like much, a few simple words, but for someone who has poured their heart, soul, and sanity into a relationship built on manipulation, it's a question that can shatter or liberate depending on the answer. Victims of narcissistic abuse don't just lose the relationship, they lose their sense of reality. And nowhere is that more devastating than in the ambiguity of whether or not it was ever real. The truth, the narcissist version of love is not just different, it's dangerous. Understanding why is key to finally freeing yourself from the trauma bond that keeps you circling the wreckage. And in today's video, we are going to dive into this topic and give you the truth about this complicated question that plagues so many survivors of narcissistic abuse. But first, if you're new to my channel, I'd like to take a moment and welcome you and invite you to please subscribe and be sure and hit that notification bell because I put out new videos every week. Also, if you are interested in private one-on-one narcissistic abuse recovery coaching sessions with me, or if you would like more information on my new course that teaches you exactly what narcissistic abuse and complex PTSD are and goes into great detail about exactly what a trauma bond is and how to break it for good, or if you would like more information about our new private community of survivors, where we will be having group coaching sessions and you will have access to all my course material, please visit my website at jillwise.com, which is linked in the description below. Hope to see everyone there. So today we're talking about something so many survivors of narcissistic abuse struggle with, which is the question, did the narcissist ever really love me? I know that question has plagued me for decades, as I know it has so many of you. And to answer this question honestly, you need to first understand some fundamental differences between narcissists and normal people. So let's dive in. First, it's important to understand that narcissists love what you do for them, not who you are. Narcissists don't connect to people in the way that emotionally healthy individuals do. They are emotionally arrested, stuck in a state of arrested development where others exist only as extensions of themselves. What they experience isn't love, it's dependency, control, admiration, and utility. When they say, "I love you," what they often mean is, "I love the way you make me feel about myself." It's not your essence they're attracted to. It's the mirror you hold up to their ego. And the moment that mirror cracks, for example, if you set a boundary, express pain, or become less useful, the illusion collapses. Love in the narcissist world is highly conditional. It's not about you. It's about the function you serve. For normal people like you and I, when we fall in love with the individual, their character, their personality, their heart, and the depth of who they are as a human being. Narcissists, on the other hand, truly feel and believe that love is the narcissistic supply that you and others provide to him or her. That is the only understanding they have as to what love is. And that's why the love you receive from them feels conditional and transactional. We have a completely different understanding and beliefs about what love truly is. Another very important aspect of this that you need to really understand is a human being cannot truly experience love for anyone without the ability to feel empathy. Because empathy is the foundation of love. It's what allows us to feel a true connection with someone. Narcissists, particularly those high on the spectrum, lack this crucial wiring. They may mimic empathy early on using charm and hyper attunement to hook you during the idealization phase, but this is mirroring. It's strategic, not authentic. Over time, this lack of empathy will become painfully evident. They can betray you, lie to you, or discard you with chilling indifference, and then act as if you are the problem for reacting. True love is incompatible with chronic empathy deficits. What remains is performance, not connection. And that, my friends, is not real, true love. Next, narcissists are delusional and they live in a fantasy world. One of the most painful realizations for survivors is that the narcissist didn't fall in love with them. They fell in love with the fantasy version of them. Narcissists project an idealized image onto their partner during the love bombing phase. They cast you as the perfect soulmate, the rescuer, the adoring fan, or the loyal servant. But these roles are scripted. The moment you deviate from the fantasy or show up as a full, flawed human being, as we all are, the narcissist sees it as betrayal. They withdraw affection, become cold, or punish you for not living up to their expectations. You weren't loved as a person. You were cast as a character in their internal play. And once your character deviated from the version they dreamed up that you would play, that in their eyes is unforgivable. And because of this, you will be written out of the script. Another question that usually plagues a survivor when contemplating this question, if the narcissist ever really loved us, is if it was love, then why did it hurt so much? Healthy love doesn't leave you anxious, confused, or constantly apologizing for existing. It doesn't require you to shrink, silence yourself, or second-guess every word. The cognitive dissonance created in a narcissistic relationship is so intense that survivors often start defining love by its chaos. They confuse intensity with intimacy and confusion with depth. And unfortunately, this is part of the grooming phase the narcissist is putting you through. It's the intentional act of conditioning. Narcissists manufacture emotional highs and lows to destabilize your nervous system, creating an addiction to their approval. And what you must understand is this is trauma bonding. It is not love. So when you ask yourself, was it love? Ask instead, did this person and the relationship expand me, or did it erase me? Because real love doesn't diminish your light. It nurtures it, it encourages it, and it helps it grow in the most supportive and beautiful ways. And that is about the furthest thing that happens to someone who is in a relationship with a narcissist. Please, please hear me when I tell you, trauma bonds are not love. They are not anywhere close to being love. Another aspect of this that is critical to understand is that you loved them more than they could ever love themselves. Here's the brutal irony. The deep, authentic love you gave the narcissist was something they were never able to give themselves. That's why they targeted you. Your love was soothing, stabilizing, even sacred to them until it wasn't. Narcissists are often driven by deep shame and self-loathing, even if they don't show it. Being on the receiving end of real love makes them feel seen, but also deeply vulnerable. They both crave and resent the connection you offered, and eventually that resentment grows into sabotage. They destroy the very love they begged for, not because it wasn't real, but because it was. Narcissists can't give you something that they never gave themselves. Even if they desperately want your love, it's only on their terms and only to fill a void that they refuse to face. And when real intimacy threatens their illusion of control, they will choose sabotage. Real love terrifies people who are hiding from themselves. So in closing, the tragedy isn't that you were never loved. It's that the person you loved was never capable of meeting you there. And that's not your fault. You didn't imagine the connection. You just misjudged its depth. You loved with your whole heart, and they loved with their fear, their ego, and their wounds. That doesn't invalidate what you felt. It confirms it. In fact, one of the most empowering moments in recovery is realizing that the love was real because it came from you. You were the source of it, and you still are. The question isn't whether they ever loved you. The question is, what will you do now with all the love you still have to give? My advice, let it nourish you this time. Let it rebuild your nervous system, restore your dignity, and reshape your life, because that's not the end of this story. It's the beginning of your freedom. When we finally start giving ourselves the unconditional love, compassion, respect, empathy, and support that we would give anyone else that we love, when we finally start giving that to ourselves, and that becomes the foundation of our existence, never will we ever lower our standards in order to be in a relationship, nor will we ever tolerate abusive, cruel, or neglectful behavior from anyone. Once we finally give to ourselves what we were trying to get the narcissist to give us, who is incapable and unwilling to do, everything changes. And that, my friends, is when the healing truly begins. Okay, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you know someone who could benefit from watching this video, I hope you'll share it with them. Also, please don't forget to visit my website, jillwise.com, for all the information regarding the services I offer. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.